my name is Ani Gargan, and today I'm going to be giving a speech on bullying in the classroom or at school. Did you know 1 in 7 students in grades kindergarten through 12 is either a bully or a bully victim, and that 56% of students have personally witnessed some type of bullying at school? I personally have not been bullied, so I don't know what it feels like, by another student I should say, but I feel that a form of bullying has been done to me by a teacher, which we'll discuss later on in the speech. In my speech, I'll be talking about bullying in schools, how to prevent it, and what to do if we see it. At school, it's the biggest place for bullying to occur, which is a huge problem in my eyes. Bullies go for the weaker links or the nerdy type looking students. I know at my school there are a lot of nerdy kids because my high school is ranked one of the best educational high schools in Pennsylvania. So I did see a lot of kids getting bullied every day. I would sometimes step in, especially if I know it's a kid that I know is really nice and has really good morals and doesn't deserve to get bullying, to help him out, to make sure that he was okay and walk him away from the situation. I personally think that teachers need to be more aware of this happening in schools and in classrooms. In middle schools, it's common for kids to get bullied in bathrooms, on the bus, at recess, and obviously through texting. Now you think texting is not a place, texting wouldn't be involved in a school-related bullying activity, but kids do text in classrooms and it can become a problem, and then it's on the teacher's plate if that happens in their classroom. So I personally think that they need to be more aware. Especially in the classroom, if your atmosphere is really negative, then kids don't want to be there or they just are miserable, and that can also be a cause for bullying as well, which is a problem. So if you keep a positive attitude as a teacher and as students, then that'll reduce the amount of bullying as well. Also, as a teacher, they need to explain that telling a teacher or a higher figure is not tattletailing. Some kids, especially in middle school or elementary school, think like, oh, like you're narking me out or you're tattling on me, but in this case it's kind of like you need to do it, it's not an option. So if you do that, then it's not considered tattling, and I think teachers need to enforce that more so than they do. And that was a really big thing in a BBC article that I read. And obviously a teacher needs to immediately intervene with this if they see it going on, because like I said earlier, it's on their plate, and now since bullying is not taken lightly, they could get in a lot of trouble for it. So as a student, you say to yourself, like, what do you do? What do you do if you see this happening, and how could I help out without people thinking that I'm a narc or thinking that I'm a weirdo for helping a weaker link kid out or doing what the right thing is to do? Well, like I said multiple times before, you gotta speak up. You gotta have your voice heard, and you're the bigger person, and you'll become the hero if you tell a higher figure, a teacher, a parent, a guidance counselor, a lecture lady. You have to tell someone, because the more it's unheard and unsaid or talked about, the worse it's gonna get for that victim of being a bully. If you see a kid getting bullied, like I said, like what I used to do in high school, step in. Pat the kid on the back, walk him away, start talking to him, be the bigger person about it. It helps, and it makes that victim feel a lot better about themselves instead of feeling so down and miserable and upset. I know when I was personally felt like I was being bullied by a teacher, the girl next to me just sat there and just had a conversation with me so I could get my mind off the teacher. That teacher was actually my chem teacher. I was not a good student in chem. I'm not a science girl, never understood it, not a math person, so it definitely came hard to me. And so therefore, I would never raise my hand, never want to participate, and just really had a hard time with it. And he would call on me knowing that I kept my head down and kind of just kept to myself and into my textbook, and he would call on me, and I felt like he did it on purpose, because every time he called on me, I couldn't answer the question, and I would get really embarrassed and really red, and just felt really dumb and stupid. And as a student, a teacher shouldn't be making a student feel that way. And it's not like I was young either. I was 17, and I was just trying to get by, and it was junior year, and it was already hard enough, so I never said anything. I let it go on for the whole first semester, and I would go home, and I would literally be so upset, and I was failing the class, and it just wasn't helping that he wasn't making it any easier on me. And my mom finally had to go to the guidance counselor to say something about the teacher. Now, I was embarrassed because, of course, all my friends saw my mom walking into the school, and my mom doesn't get involved at all. So they knew something was up. And that teacher later on that day pulled me aside. He apologized, but I still never looked at him the same way because I was really upset at him and I thought he was wrong by doing so. But he did stop calling on me, and I did raise my hands more. I ended up passing the class with a C because I enjoyed it more because he wouldn't pick on me. But that's just a case of where teachers can also be the cause of bullying as well. Not as harsher, but it's a form of bullying. What to do? Like I said over and over again, speak up. If you don't speak up, there's going to be other problems that can rise from this, and those problems can be really detrimental to other students and that other student's life. If you see a bully, try to stop the bully in its tracks. Usually the bully is insecure himself or herself, so they probably have some problems too that they may want to vent about or talk about. Maybe they don't actually have a friend and they just might seem like they're so popular. Now, I handed out a poem written by a 7th grade girl, well, 7th grade boy, and I'm not going to go over it and read it with you, but you guys can read it on your own. It's really powerful, and it was actually featured on Good Morning America a few months ago when bullying was really high in the media in September. It's really moving, and sometimes victims of bullying tend to write things like this, and psychiatrists are now saying that they should keep a diary and a private diary talking about all of their feelings, because later on it does help make the victim feel better about themselves, because it's kind of letting it all out, their emotions and feelings, which is something that psychiatrists tell you to do. But it's really powerful and moving, and makes me as a person who I think I'm nice and kind and have really good morals, so it kind of made me feel like I want to try to make a difference. But my biggest questions to you guys is that, do you think that a school is a huge place, and you don't have to answer, just things to think about. Do you think school is a place that bullying happens a lot? And do you think that teachers and other higher figures, adults, think are main causes for bullying? Personally, I think they are. And in conclusion, students who experience bullying may feel overwhelmed and depressed and anxious, so reach out a helping hand. Try to help out and try to stop bullying as much as you can in classrooms, because it is hurtful and school is stressful enough and they don't need that on their plate as well.